Hi, my name is Ally Keegan, and I am a criminal defense attorney at the law office of David Shapiro in San Diego, where we help good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. You can consider this my public service announcement that if you are in custody or you have a loved one in custody, you should assume that absolutely everything they say and do is being monitored at all times. And this really applies to anyone in custody at any point. Whether you are in the drunk tank for a DUI for a couple of hours before they release you, or whether you're in jail on trial for first-degree murder, this applies to you regardless, and it applies to everyone equally. And what you really need to do is assume that either as it's happening or soon after the fact, that a prosecutor is going to see everything you do, hear everything you say, and read everything you write. And I mean everything when I say this. This includes statements to fellow inmates. If you have a cellmate or something and you talk about your case, they could potentially snitch. They could try to get a better sentence for themselves or some sort of a deal by doing the jailhouse snitch thing, and none of those statements are safe. And you never know who might be a potential informant that could flip on you down the road. It also includes absolutely all incoming and outgoing mail. If you're writing letters to anyone, receiving letters to anyone, know that it is all subject to being read and searched. The only exception would potentially be that attorney mail is supposed to be confidential, but even that, most facilities will tell you that they might still be searched. So assume that that could be read as well. Don't include a lot of case detail in those letters. If you do need to reach out to an attorney, just tell them more generally what is going on with the case procedurally and let them reach out to you, and then do a professional visit that will actually be confidential and not monitored or recorded. The one that gets people into the most trouble though is phone calls on the jail lines. And this could be to anyone. Obviously, if you're calling your friends or family, anything you're saying to them will be recorded and reviewed later on. And even things like saying, hey, look, I messed up, I'm so sorry, to your husband or your wife or your children on the jail phones is something that could be indicative of guilt, and it's not something you're going to want to hear back in your trial or later on in any sort of criminal proceedings. So be super, super careful about what you say on those phones, including to people that you think might be confidential, but they're technically not, and that would be bondsmen. If you were just brought into custody and you're speaking to a bail bondsman trying to get out, you can inform them of what you're being charged with, but saying I did X, Y, or Z and admitting to certain things could also backfire and be used against you later on. So be careful of all of that. And as a note, code doesn't work. So you might think you're being smart. You might think you're using some sophisticated code on the jail phones and no one's gonna know what you're talking about. But if you call your friend and say they found all the burritos in my trunk, it's not gonna fly. No one's gonna believe you. It's probably more believable in San Diego than any other city, but just know it's not gonna work. Everyone knows what's going on. And that's going to be something that, again, could be used against you. And they might even try to twist it, the prosecution, saying that that is you being a more sophisticated, quote unquote, criminal if you're trying to get around this by using code or anything on the jail lines. So don't bother, it's not worth it. It's any message you need to say or any details you need to give about your case, do it to your own attorney in the safety of a professional visit, confidential jail room. And we do unpack the value of professional jail visits in a different video. So if you're watching this right now and you're concerned about any statements that a loved one might have made while in custody and you have any questions or concerns about that, go ahead and give us a call so that we can set up a confidential jail visit and not add fuel to the fire. But our phone number is 619-295-3555.